Here is the grid based on the results of earlier today. Hazelwood and Golding, Morris and Tom Davies on road 2, Ben Grice and Nathan Hearn on road number 3. Lockie Evident having a fantastic rookie start alongside the next rookie, Jack Smith, who was great in the SCT Logistics 111 Mustang early today. Blake Tracy inside the top 10 as well. James Moffat featuring there as well with Bargwana, Haynes, Jared Hughes and Chase Hoy into the Candelo Steel City car. Adam Garwood would start down the field. He copped a penalty from the previous race. Jordan Cox alongside him with Jackson Rice, Mark Bailey, Cameron Laws and Elliot Barber. Down in 20th, Domain Ramsey and Des Collier, John Hollinger and Jason Pride, Michael Coulter and Graham Cheney on the 13th row. Robbie Farr and Josh Webster and Charlie Nash. Question mark next to him and Ben Gomersall. Also there with Josh Thomas and Mark Crutcher at the back of the field for this third race of the weekend in Trico Trans Am.
Great little battle there in Pro-Am as well. Mark Bailey taking out the opening 2 accounts. Cameron Laws started in 29th in the last race, got up to 20th and finishing only a second behind Mark Bailey. So we'll keep an eye on that for the class win as we have Crutcher.
He went out for a lap there and have decided to bring that car back here to start this race. 2 formation laps. If you weren't with us for the race earlier today or yesterday's coverage of the High Tech Oils Race Tasmania event. And now they'll start to form up in these 16 rows. The biggest ever field of Trico Trans Am, a series on the grow in 2025. We head to Mount Panorama for the next round where we combine with the TA2 muscle cars and expecting grids of at least 40 for the 2 45-minute races up there. This is the 4-race format. Down in Tasmania, it's the field now have got those first day of school nerves out of the system and get themselves into rows of 2. Hazelwood on the right-hand side, reigning champ in his rookie season last year. Started off in style with pole position yesterday, picked up the win after the demise of James Moffat, who's powered his way through the field. He starts from 11 in this Trico Trans Am series. Race 3 of the weekend, race 2 of Sunday, as they build up, waiting for the red lights to extinguish. And now they do. And the charge is on. Panel to panel on the way down to turn number 1. Morris on the inside, aggressive in the normal Motorplex car. Hearn once again hung out. Same 2 for Moffat. He's going to lose 2 or 3 positions. As Morris seesaws, we got contact, still the straight, it's Golding in the front and nowhere to go for Morris. Can they escape all of this? Everybody send out the dirt, they can't, and there's cars going everywhere. Multi-car shunt in the background. There's going to be at least 6 or 7 cars, maybe more, and the track is blocked.
This is going to be a red flag, Nolte.
The track completely blocked. We've seen this before in supercars. But now the Trico Trans Am series, I might have been ambitious saying there was 6.
I think there's about 14 cars there. So there's someone stopped further up here, but that all looked like it started between Nash Morrison and Golding. So Golding managed to stay on the track out of turn number 1 as we've just gone red flag. Look at the mess, Nolte. There's cars everywhere.
The poor medical car was caught up in an incident this morning. It almost got Josh Webster in the cloud of dust, and it's now part of the melee down here. So Domain Ramsey's in the middle. Graham Cheney is in there. Des Collier trying to reverse out the scene. Elliot Barber, Mark Bailey, John Hollinger. Do you want me to go on? Mark Crutcher, Josh Thomas, Robbie Farr is also in there.
And Nash Morris in the pits looked like he's got some damage in the front end, steering damage. So they've exited out of turn number 2.
I count 11.
11. There's probably not 11 that are fully damaged in that. But, yeah, Nash is back to the pits as well.
You've made a really good point. For the amount of cars down there, there seems to be a limited amount of damage. We only saw it from the in-car perspective. We hope to see from the outside went down. We're expecting this in race 1 yesterday. 32 cars trying to jam into a small space. Michael Coulter drives away in the Terps Tippers Mustang. And the red flag is out here in race number 3. So some overlap between Golding and Morris. Bit of a chain reaction here. Everybody's stacked on the mills here. But of course, it's so dusty down there. You're driving into blindness effectively. And just screeching of who's your tyres in the distance. This is how we saw it live. So Morris was just on the rear guard of the 31. Classic overlap, classic Symmons Plains first lap. Then the field went scattering.
Yeah, slight bit of overlap there. Nash Morris on James Golding. And Nash obviously didn't want to lift out of that. Jimmy probably thought he was clear of Nash, and they've both made, well, heavy contact for Nash, and then it's just caused chaos behind. Adam Garwood, I don't know whether he got hit into Mark Bailey, and that's just caused a flurry of cars to go across the track. And now you can't even see anything with how much dust is flying as we ride on board with Moffat. He sort of got pushed off the track here on the exit of turn number 2, which potentially might have actually worked in his favour. So as we're riding on board now to turn 2, and there's chaos that's just ensuing up ahead. We have Josh Haynes up ahead in the Herzog Steel entry.
All in front of him.
And everyone's just on the brakes. And he's managed to get through that okay.
And barely a twitch of the steering wheel through the middle of that for the former champion. And it's going to be a tough one for Cameron Laws. You noted he tried to drive off, but he's got heavy damage front, left and right. As we look at the Normal Motorplex Mustang of Nash Morris, Michael Coulter in the background as well in car number 11. And the field has stopped at the end of lap number 1. Red flag is out.
This is bringing back 2017 supercar wet race vibes here, with pretty much nearly half the field that were taken out in that incident on the back straight. So Nash Morris in the pits, and I'll tell you what, lap 1, Nolts, sometimes it's better just to roll out of it and have another go when you've got a 20-minute race. And here's Mark Bailey just waiting there at turn number 4. He's managed to get it to turn 4, but now he stopped. So all the field has sort of just parked up really on the exit of turn 2, heading up to turn 3, and look at the damage here.
It's Jackson Rice, the first National Real Estate entry, car 7. Jason Pride's come back into the pits aboard the Tasman Power Harman Transportables entry, car number 14, the driver from Western Australia. And Cam Laws, he got caught up in the middle of that shunt, then was clouted a second time before finally being arrested in the guardrail on driver's left. Elliot Barber is still facing the wrong direction, but now there's enough space there for the field to at least navigate through. And the Pioneer DJ Chevy Camaro.
And the battle for Pro-Am, which was between Mark Bailey and Cameron Laws, well, they're both out of action in this one. So our Pro-Am leader, Collier, 17th outright as the Buckley Motors safety car lights are out. So no more weaving. Todd Hazelwood will take control of the field from Ben Grice, who's just been a quiet achiever so far in this one, staying out of all the carnage. And he's going to want to be right on the rear bar of Hazelwood, who will control the field to finally, hopefully, get this race underway, Nolts.
This will be a wild 12 minutes of racing. Remember, lap times in the 54, 55 second range, so plenty of racing laps ahead of us. They tightly stack up. The green is waving, but Todd Hazelwood says when, and when is now for the reigning champ and back-to-back winner as race 3 finally gets underway and the first 2 disappear. Grice going after Hazelwood, the All-American Driveline Auto Parts 03 Mustang, chasing the reigning champ. Davies has got Hearn. Lachlan Everett behind in the Cam Group number 8. And down to turn number 4. Is it going to be safe this time? They're in single file and they're spaced out nicely. Here comes Grice. Hearn looks out for a phantom move on the 42, puts it to the inside, and will race alongside the 42 and the charge down the long back straight.
Side by side, Hearn and Davies down the back straight. And it looks like Hearn will be on the left-hand side heading down into turn number 6. So trying to get that move done on Tom Davies. Ben Grice just trying to hang with Hazelwood on the restart, was thinking about it moving to turn 4. We can see more damage in front of Nash Morris. Oh, Josh Webster with a bit of that right rear damage. Here comes Todd Hazelwood leading the charge. First racing lap completed here for race 3 of Trico Trans Ams series. Benny Grice hanging in there, hanging tough. Tom Davies with Nathan Hearn just breathing down his neck as we head back down to turn number 4. Such a quick lap here at Symmons Plains Raceway, only a 2.4 kilometre circuit, 2 extremely long straights. James Moffat putting the pressure on.
54.9 first flying lap for Todd Hazelwood. As we're in car with Moffat, he's got Jared Hughes ahead in the Road Active Suspensions 118 machine. Part of the IES team with Graham Cheney. Through the right-hander, there's Moffat. What a return it's been after that broken axle during race number 1 yesterday. Pulls up to make the move on Hughes, and Hughes has to yield, but needs to tuck himself back in behind and not allow Haynes, who's had a lot of track time. That's purely because the car was hung off the racing line. It's allowed the Herzog Steel car to climb up onto the bumper.
Yeah, Hughes lost a lot of time there. Just ran a little bit wide off of turn number 6. Just needs to play it smart here. Get in behind James Moffat. Just try and follow him through. So Moffat now up to 8th from dropping back to position number 11 as we look at Hearn right on the back of Tom Davies. Trying to find weaknesses as it looks like there was an overtake in the background. I think that's Moffat on Tracy now. So Moffat up to 7th and trying to hunt down Jack Smith, who's also had quite a nice weekend here as well. Qualified 6th outright. He was fastest in his qualifying session. It's on here between Hughes and Tracy. Hughes just trying to maintain. That's what we've got. Elliot Barber's gone round into turn number 4, which that is an awkward position. Gets that thing fired up and nice little flick turn there.
Thankful for that. I thought he was going to be stuck there for a moment. The Pioneer DJ Chevy Camaro as he throttles the throttle, you know what I mean, on the way to turn number 4. And now Tracy, the auto openers, left the door open for about 3 or 4 cars. He's passed by Garwood at the same time.
A lot of smoke under there too, Knowles. A lot of smoke. He's actually got a fire.
I noticed that on the exit of turn number 4, so I think there's an issue for the 5. And in the foreground is Garwood arriving in hot in the Maverick Performance car. Car number 2, the Ford Mustang. Oh, for Tracy, I hope this isn't an engine. We saw a big flame from the right bank of that car. He's got going, but he was on for a top 10 result in his rookie weekend, and he's going to stop the car. And it's probably going to be enough for a safety car here. There's smoke starting to get thicker underneath the front of his Mustang.
He needs to try and get out as quick as he can. I don't know how far away he is from it. He's not the closest to a fire marshal point here.
He's ushering for a fire extinguisher here by the look of it. The safety car is going to be called. Once again, as Barber goes past the scene, you can see the fluid leaking underneath the car as well to the left-hand side. The driver having to put his own fire out here. He's going for the middle. It's one thing the driver and the teams do not want to see. It brings out the safety car once again. The one of 10, at least 10 rookies we have in the series in 2025. Who's on for a strong showing. A big benefactor from all that incident on lap number 1 has now come to a fiery end.
I think he's just trying to work out exactly where the fire is coming from. You can see quite a bit of oil being dumped from underneath the car, so it seems like the fire isn't as bad now. He probably is going to open the bonnet, which sometimes it's not the best thing to do because it lets all the oxygen in and it can make the fire worse. So let's hope that it's not too bad under there. And just touching on Moffat, actually, he's moved up to 6th position, so 5 moves in about 5 racing laps, so that'll put him in a good spot for our last race today.
So order unchanged at the top with Hazelwood, Grice and Davies. The gap was half a second until the Buckby Motor safety car was called for the 2nd time in this race. Evident in 5th position with Moffat, Smith, Jared Hughes, Josh Haynes and Ben Barguana now in the top 10 with Jordan Cox. Chase Hoy is now up into 12th place. That car was in the fence yesterday during qualifying. The rookie Sandgroper now knocking on the door of a top 10 with Adam Garwood. James Golding now 14th with Bryce and Nash Morris. Robbie Farr 17th, Hollinger, Webster and Graham Chaney. Let's go to pit lane.
Matt, just having a look at that Black Tracy car. That's one of 2 cars from the Racing Academy team. Now, they already had 1 car out. Cameron Laws was in that crash earlier on in car number 9, so both of their cars have been wiped out. They've got Tim Slade here this weekend, of course, the recently retired full-time supercars driver. We'll see Tim back later in the year at the Bend and Bathurst alongside Nick Percat at Mattstone Racing. But this is such a shame. Blake Tracy was running a genuine top 8 there in this race. First time in this category. He's come from Hyundai Excels. What a shame. That team is completely wiped out of race 3 in the case of 7 or 8 laps. Unbelievable.
Yeah, one of many stories I think Noons will be following the rest of the afternoon. It is, and you know this yourself, it is such an effort to get down here. to come racing. We can't just drive down here. We've got to put on a boat. It's an overnight or sometimes a day experience to get down here. It's quite expensive to do it. You can only bring a limited amount of spares to begin with.
I mean, it's a real credit to all the teams and drivers and competitors. 32 entries here for Race Tasmania. Like you said, Noel, that's a huge effort from everyone. There's so much work that gets done in the off-season when you go testing. A lot of preparation involved in getting these cars out on the track, and especially when you're doing 4 races on this weekend and 3 races today. So to have a blown engine in the third of 4 is such a disappointment for Blake Tracy, and just hope they get that thing sorted for either the next race or for round 2 at the 6 hour.
Nudes.
Matt, the man who I think might be on your screen right about now, you can see he's got his name on the headset here. He's the highly experienced Alan Heafy. He's on the headset to Tom Davies in car 42. They're having a great weekend at GRM. They've got 5 cars in the mix. Of course, Alan Heafy is on the headset at the moment. Ran Wayne Gardner Racing, of course, the Coca-Cola V8 supercar team. He was with Nissan Motorsport in Europe, Freddie Gibson's team here in Australia. Highly experienced. He's a racer's racer, and he's working with young Tom Davies. And have a look at the results that they're getting this weekend. We just can't keep Alan away from a racetrack. He loves this stuff, highly experienced. And there's a whole pile of really experienced engineers and team managers who are working here with a lot of these young drivers in Trans Am. Fantastic to see, and really enjoying working with some of these guys who are coming through in their careers. Plenty of engineers and team managers who've been there and done it. It's great to see.
Yeah, what a story. He's just finished rebuilding or repiecing together the Nissan GTR from 1990 that appeared at the Adelaide Motorsport Festival a couple of weeks back too. A story of a car that virtually did a handful of turns in the hands of Mark Scaife back in 1990 at the Adelaide Grand Prix. We tripped the curb coming onto Brabham Straight and never raced again. Alan Heafy has been around for many, many years. It's great to see him still in the pit lane. But he raised a good point. Suddenly, that's got Tom Davies just that further up the field he needed to be, because he's been lurking around the top 5 the last couple of seasons.
We did speak about this earlier in the weekend, that it's been a breakout weekend so far for Tom Davies. Prior to this weekend, his best finish was 7th in Trans Am and scored his first top 3 finish. That's a cool shot. Heading back. Nice, cool Tasmanian breeze. Heading down back to the pits. Sad sight for them. But
not the Sunday drive he wanted to be doing.
Not really, no. But yeah, for Tom Davies, as it stands, Nolts, he's 2nd overall on points. And if it stays like this, he'll be lining up on the front row for the final race this afternoon.
Yeah, points will be setting the grid for that one later on today. We're hearing too the 55 is calling it a weekend.
Yeah, Charlie Nash in the Tickford Autosport. Paul Morris ran Trans Am. Disappointment for them after a blown engine in this morning's race, so that's a real shame for him. His first weekend in the Trico Trans Am series, but we'll be seeing him back at the 6 hour aboard the 55 Mustang.
That car run for the last couple of seasons by Chris Pappas out of the Norwell Motorplex team. No relation to Max Pappas, with the MPI Hard Charger, the Wheelman Award, which is going to the driver who passes the most cars in a weekend. Great news. Here we go. Safety car is going back into pit lane, and we should get probably 2 laps. Hazelwood goes for it. So does Grice, yet to win in Trico Trans Am, incidentally. He finished 2nd here, his best result back in 2023 after claiming pole, and going for win number 1 today.
Domain Ramsey has a bit of a moment there. Now, this could be Grice's best opportunity to try and grab his first win on the restart. 2 tenths behind. He's in 2 minds here. He's got to sort of cover from Tom Davies, and he's gone a little bit wide here, trying to get the switch back on Todd Hazelwood down the back straight. As they all just managed to get through the hairpin on the restart, all okay. And Moffat's already up to 5th place, going for a move now on Nathan Hearn. So Hearn defending for his life into turn number 4. But I tell you what, Moffat's going to send it down the inside. It's very close. He's had to bail. A little bit of contact there, Nolts, and he's going to have to settle for 5th.
1 to go for our race leader, Moffat on the charge. He's up to 5th position. Can Grice get Hazelwood? Can Moffat get Hearn for 4th position? Less than 2.4 kilometres of racing ahead of us. Haynes side by side on the exit with Bargwana and the Hanger Forklifts Mustang. Grice will be his best result in a long time in the All-American Driveline and Auto Parts 03. He's got one last chance at the end of the straight, but look at Hearn and Moffat. Moffat forced to the outside in the battle for 4th and 5th. A good old-fashioned drag race underway.
Yeah, and he's got the traction down beautifully out of turn 4, and he's made that move stick already, which is just what he would have wanted, not to be caught on the outside into turn number 6 in the last lap, as Smith runs off on the right-hand side there, and now Hearn's got a cover from Everett.
Good luck capturing this last corner. We know Hazelwood's going to win this, but the battle for the minors is on. Hazelwood, 3 from 3 in the Trico Trans Ams series. Hearn finishes behind Moffat. At the end of all of that, a 2-lap dash. Robbie Farr arriving in hot at the end of the race as well in the high-tech oil Chevy Camaro. And what a finish for the minor positions. Moffat gets 4th. And he is going to have to do it further down the field for the final race. But that car has got some pace. What about this guy? Untouchable.
Maximum points so far this weekend, Nolts. And like we touched on during the safety car, Tom Davies, he's going to be on the front row for this last race as we take a look at our results from race number 3.
Jared Hughes, the only bow tie in the top 10 today, back in 8th position with Hazelwood, Grice and Todd Davies in 3rd position. Moffat, Hearn, Lachlan Everett, Jack Smith, another strong result with Hughes, Mark Warner and Adam Garwood inside the top 10. The Maverick Performance entry, Jordan Cox home ahead of Josh Haynes, Chase Hoy in 13th, and Golding and Morris 14th and 15th. They found each other for the second time. Jackson Rice also inside that top 20. And outside there you had Jason Bright, Domain Ramsey, Elliot Barber with a couple of spins in his Chevy Camaro. And down to the hard luck stories at Michael Coulter, Mark Bailey, Cameron Laws in that 9 machine. It's had an adventurous day out today, and Charlie Nash, Ben Gomersall not making it to the start here. But this guy is starting to become quite a feature down in Victory Lane, and Cameron Van den Dungen is also there.
Tom Davies, we are chatting more than I think we've ever chatted over a weekend. Big smile is back on your face. Top 3, congratulations.
Cheers, mate. Thank you. Yeah, it's pretty wild, hectic race there. Off the start, you know, we sort of lost a couple of positions, but then safety car got called, and then we just had to hold our ground from there on.
Now, Thomas Randall said it's a breakout weekend for you in Trans Am. Is that how it feels from your perspective?
Yeah, it is. Yeah, it is good. Like, we're on the podium twice already this weekend. Hopefully make it 3 times in a weekend, and this is, it's to be our record weekend so far, so it's good.
Good luck, well done. One more race to go for you. Benny Grice, hey, you can chat to Todd in a minute. Come over here because you're in the top 2, mate. Congratulations. What a crazy race.
Yeah, we'll win the next one. He was in trouble. We were coming on. We probably got going to like lap 3, and my thing was really, really getting better. So the whole weekend we just tuned it up and got it better. But, man, I'm just so pleased I was in that wreck because we're really 1 round at a time, unfortunately, this year. And that one would have taken us out for the whole year. So, but, yeah, we got a good fast car, and we can show we can run at the front. And we welcome A&T Transport on board this weekend. So thanks to them, we're hauling the mail.
Now, that last lap, as you went down to the hairpin, you were thinking about it, weren't you? It was a long way back. I was holding my breath. How close were you to putting that move on?
I was just cleaning the road up for the next lap. It was pretty dirty down there, but we got a late checker. So my thing was like good in 3 laps, just setting it up. So, yeah, we'll win the next one.
There you go. You heard it here first. Benny Grice, congratulations. That's a top 2. We're going to sneak around because this guy over here, he's just does not want to hand over number 1. Todd Hazelwood, doesn't matter how you get him, any win is fantastic.
Win's a win. Obviously, yeah, never nice seeing crash cars in that first lap melee, but man, I still had my hands full there with Gricey, man. He was quick in that one, and we were just battling there. We obviously were tired down, and that started to show on that one. So, yeah, just hanging on at the moment, to be honest. So, see what the next one brings us. You know, it's good to get that one out the way, but hopefully we can try and finish the weekend happy.
Well, it's just about a perfect weekend. You got 1 more race to go. How compromised are you on that tyre set?
I mean, we're already at the point where it's starting to feel compromised, and we saw that with great Gricey, you know, just how quick he was, especially once we got a few laps in. I think if that safety car didn't come out, I might have had my hands full well and truly then. So I was giving everything I had then. There was nothing left in the tank. So, yeah, we'll see how we go. We've still got to tune it up. It wasn't quite nice then, so we'll keep chipping away and hopefully keep it at the pointy end. So big thanks to my team. Yeah.
Well done. 1 more, and it's a perfect weekend. Good luck.
We'll be trying. Thank you. Cheers on.
Let's go over to Aaron Noonan.